Guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping if you're new here, and thank you so much for returning if you've returned back to my YouTube channels. And in today's video, if you haven't gathered by the title, we are going to be doing a July TBR. Now, I feel like the month of July was a really good read month. We ended up reading 18 books in the month of July, and I also felt like I got a good amount of my physical TBR done, but I also got a good amount of like series completed, which I'm super excited about, because series is something that I really wanted to work on as like a goal this year. So without further ado, we're going to grab a drink, we're going to grab a snack, and we're going to get comfy, and we're going to get into this video. So I do have my trusty iPad here just to tell me my ratings for the book, just in case that I forget. So the first book that we are going to be talking about is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. And this is kind of like a fantasy contemporary romance, basically. Like, it's a fantasy with a bit of romance in it, I would say. And in this, you are following someone who is, it's Vasali. You are following Vasali, and she has an illness that prevents her from basically dancing because it just causes her so much pain. However, she's kind of in prison because she's been framed for murder that she didn't do. So basically you watch how that kind of unravels and what kind of took place and things like that. But I had the best time. I really did enjoy it. I felt like in the beginning I wasn't that much, but towards the end I was like, oh, I'm actually obsessed with this, and I had the greatest time. I think this would have been in my highest and lowest rated Goodreads books. I think that's what it should have been. But I did rate this a 3.5 star, guys, and I did have a good time. So if you haven't kind of read this, or you've kind of got it on your TBR and you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to read it, I would recommend reading it. I had a good time. However, I didn't realise that this was a series. So the second book is soon to come out. So that's also something if you were interested. The next book that I have is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and I do have a sprayed edition from Waterstones. And honestly, guys, this book did not disappoint. I rated this a 4.75. I had the best time. The ending left me on a flipping cliffhanger, and I'm fuming because I don't want to buy one book in paperback and then, because I'm being impatient, buy the other one in hardcover. So I have to be very patient because I want them all to be in paperback. However, this one was very interesting, and I also feel that I liked the world building and the understanding of the world, and how Rachel Gillig had created a world this phenomenal, as well as literally two people were just stunning, and their romance and everything that happened, and the two characters were just they were just stunning. They were literally stunning, and I had the best time. And I also felt like the chapters were really quick, and the plot really progressed very quickly. Like, I just had the best time. And when I got to the end, I was literally fuming because it literally ends like right on it. But yeah, and there's also a really big plot twist that was also a little bit like, whoa. So yeah, I did have the best time reading this, guys. So if you haven't read this, I do recommend reading it. We've got The Names by Florence Knapp. I gave this a 3.5 stars. I had a good time. I did enjoy it. I did absolutely binge this book, and I did have a good time reading it. I think if you haven't read this book, I would probably see if there was any trigger warnings, because I didn't know that there was something in here that was going to be in here. But I did have a good time. I thought it was good, and I think I liked all of the stories. I think Bear was the cutest, not gonna lie, but I also think that I think Bear and Julian's were the cutest. I didn't really like Gordon's, but everyone else's was kind of all right. And I did feel like it took a while for the story to build for me personally, and I felt that when you were bouncing through everyone's, the timeline was huge. Like, you would go like 7 years, I think it was. every time. Let me just try and see if I can find it. I'm adamant it was 7 years later. So each one was 7 years later, and you're basically, you're reading everyone's stories during the 7 years later. And I just feel like it was such a big gap, and I felt like sometimes some of the stuff, it maybe made it drag a little bit for me, but I did enjoy it and I do recommend reading it. I just think, or maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace to read it, I don't know, but I feel like maybe if I was to read this again I might have a different opinion. But I did have a good time, and I did have a good time, and I did enjoy it, and I can see why it is quite a popular general fiction book, because it is, the way it's written is well written, and I think the way that you kind of connect with these people that you haven't even met, like, it was good, and I did have a good time. So I do recommend that you read this. We then had a reread, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas, and I have now annotated my nice blue copy. So we've got blue, and I literally had the best time. I absolutely had the best time, guys, and I just love the ACOTAR series. I think it's always going to be a special place in my heart because it was my biggest series that I ever read. It was the biggest series that I ever read and started and fell in love with, and this world is just everything for me. And yeah, I obviously rated it 3 stars solely on the fact that it is a novella. So I did rate it 3 stars because obviously I can't be rating a novella 5 stars when it doesn't really have as much as a book would. So yeah, I do only rate novellas 3 stars, sorry. So obviously if I'm rating it 3 stars, it's the highest I will give a book, and or 1 star is the lowest I will ever give a novella. But 3 stars, I had the best time, and yeah, I've only got one more book left now, which is A Court of Silver Flames, and then I'm all caught up to date with my ACOTAR reread. So yeah, so 3 stars, I had a good time, and I just love this series, and that's all I'm really going to say. The next book I read was The Will of the Many by James Islington, and guys, I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie. I think again I would have mentioned this in the reading the highest and lowest rated Goodreads books. I felt that the first 2 parts were mid, and but then when we hit the third part was where I had the best time. It picked up and I was shook and I was on the edge of my seat. I think that was my opinion for me. The first 2 parts were like mid. I had a good time, but I wouldn't remember or wouldn't be memorable. But then I got to the last part and I was like, oh my God, this book is stunning. Where has this been this whole entire time? Why am I just here now? So I'm hoping that it was just the build up of the story, and then maybe book 2 would just be exactly like part 3, because I literally, honestly, was only going to rate it like a 3 or 3.5 star, and then it bumped up to like a 4, and I was like, yes. But in this, you are basically following Viz Telemus, and he ends up joining an elite Kassanan academy, and he basically goes on like espionages and to cover secrets and things like that. So yeah, you basically see what he has to do, which I thought was really good. And he gets into a prestigious school, and it's basically the magic system is so, I really did enjoy the magic system. I thought the magic system was so good, and the fact that someone could come up with a magic system like this I thought was really good and make it understandable. Like, I just had the best time. But yeah, I did rate this 4 stars. We then had a One Last Rodeo by Emma Lucy, which was a new release. I want to say it's definitely a new release because it didn't even give it that long. It doesn't say if it was July, but it definitely came out last month. I'm sure of it. But I absolutely had the best time. I'm just finding the rating that I gave this. Yeah, so I gave this 4 stars. I had the best time. I think as well, like, I thought this book was so stinking cute. Like, I just loved these two. I think they are one of my favourite couples so far in the Willow Ridge series. These have got to be. I feel like these are the most memorable characters that I've had, and I just think they're so stunning. And like the way that you see what people have overcome and kind of the past and the present and what they have now, I just, yeah, it was stunning. It was 10 10. I had the best time. And if you really need a good cowboy or small town romance, I really recommend you picking these up because they're just amazing. They're cute. You can, honestly, they have me kicking and screaming, giggling and kicking my feet because honestly I have the best time. But yeah, that is pretty much, I feel like, yeah, and it is a second chance romance, guys. And I know you don't like second chance romances. No, I don't. And I don't actively choose them. However, I will read them if they're in the part of an interconnected standalone series. I will read second chance romances. But other than that, I wouldn't choose a single book, like, as in, like, say if, um, say if it was like one book, like a standalone book, and it was second chance romance, I wouldn't actively sit there and choose to read it, if that makes sense. If it's in a part of a series of an interconnected. The next book we have, and a series that we finished, was, we read Nightfall, which is the last book in the Devil Knight series, and I can officially say that we have finished the Devil Knight series by Penelope Douglas, and I'm not gonna lie, I rated this a 4-star. I had the best time. I feel like Will Grayson was exactly what I was waiting for. And I just, yeah, I thought that I just, I had the best time. I had the best time. I loved it and I devoured it. And Will Grayson may be the one that has my heart overall with the boys. I don't know. Is that wrong? But then I also like the other one. I do also like, what is it? What's his name? Why can't I remember his name? Why can't I remember his name? The one in Killswitch. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, I also did like him. But I think, yeah, Will Grayson tops it for me, I think. Will Grayson was the one that I enjoyed the most and I had the best time. And if you haven't read the series, like, I do seriously recommend that you read them because they're so good. Like, they are dark because they're dark romances. But I didn't think I was going to like anything from Penelope Douglas because I didn't hear a lot of good things about her other series. But this one, 10 10 top tier. We then have the Dawn of the Cursed Queen, which is the third book in the Gods and Monsters series by Anne Bavina Cole. Now, this book was 4 stars. I had a good time. I love Diane, and I love the romance that we are experiencing right now. And I just love everything. Like, it's so good. Like, I don't know how much more I can say other than, if you have not read this series, or you have not started this series, or you are and ahhing about starting this series, just go start it. I don't care if you're in the middle of 20 other series. Like, this series is stunning. Like, it is stunning and I love it. And I honestly wish I'd bought the fourth book when I was out the other day because I feel like I'd want to finish it, but I might just get it on Kindle, to be honest, because I think they're on Kindle Unlimited, because I feel like I just want to finish the series. I don't know if this would be finished if I finished the last book that's been published. Does anyone know how many series there is going to be? Because if Wrath and the Fallen is the last one, or will there be more? But like, I just honestly think that if you haven't read the series, you're not going to be disappointed because I have the best time. I literally have the best time. We then have the latest release in the Thursday Murder Club series. There we go. And yeah, this was stunning. I had the best time. I rated this a 4 stars. I had a good time. I think the way that this was written was, it was the same comical effect that all of his other books have, but also he's then added grief into this. And I think the theme of grief was so big in one character. Like, I'm obviously not going to ruin it or anything, but there is grief in this one character, and you kind of see that she does have her spark a little bit when she's involved in this murder mystery. And she obviously used to do it, with the person that she's grieving for. And I just think, yeah, like, it was stunning. It was 10 10. I had the best time. Like, I honestly, this series is just something I just hold so precious in my heart, because this is such a good, like, mystery thriller, like a mystery series, and I think there's just done perfection. Like, and also it's not like, it's literally like old people, doing like cracking the cases, and they're just hilarious. They're just literally hilarious, and Ibrahim is by far my favorite character. He just always knows when to crack a joke. He always knows how to set a tone for a joke. He's just hilarious, and I just had a good time. Like, obviously, like, I can't really talk too much. I can, because they don't all interlink, but basically they're at a wedding. They have to basically they have a wedding, and then a murder basically takes place, and then two people then basically get murdered, and you end up realizing about some codes that were needed, and basically, yeah, that's kind of it really, and they have to basically try and solve out who did it. But yeah, 4 stars, had the best time, guys. The last physical book that I read was Yesteryear by Clara Claire Burke. I rated this at 3.5 stars. Now, before any of you come for me, or any of you are like, what? This was 5 stars. I think I seen everyone rate it 5 stars, and everyone give it such a high rating. I think it was overhyped for me personally. I found that the female main character was very annoying, and she just did my head in. And I think that maybe overtook the feelings of what was going on in this book. I enjoyed the writing. I had a good time with the writing. I think the character just was so annoying, to the point at the end of the book I thought, I don't know how much longer I can deal with you. Like, you're annoying me, basically. However, the story in which it followed, I did think was really good, and I think the plot of the book was good. I rated it 3.5 solely on the fact that, like, the first half of the book was stunning, and I was like, I can see why everyone rates this 5 stars. I'm having a great time. I literally loving it. And then I got to the second half of the book, and I felt that it dragged. Unfortunately, I felt like it took forever to get to where I needed it to be, basically. So yeah, that's how I felt, and that is why I've rated this a 3.5 stars. However, I do want to say that if you were to read this, like, I know that people would enjoy it, and I know people would still rate it 5 stars. I just think for me, it was just overhyped. I think there are a lot better, or a lot more general fiction books that I would choose to read over Yesteryear. But I also did enjoy it, and it was worth a read when I read it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I think what it displayed and the messages that it displayed was really good, and what it was, I just think I just didn't like it as much as I thought I was. And I think I am a little bit disappointed by that, because I read The Correspondent by Virginia Evans, and everyone was rating that 5 stars, and I rated that a 4.5 or 4.75, but I literally just wanted a little bit more. That was it. Whereas I think for this one, I just think the female main character just overtook, and then I just began to not like it, or maybe because of the way she was, it dragged it on, if that makes sense. But I don't know. But it was a good book. I do recommend that you guys read it if you haven't read it. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel. We're going to talk about Kindle reads. So I read Trust by Kathy Lockhart, and I will pop a picture up on the screen. I had the best time reading this. I felt it took so long for me to actually want to finish the book, or to even get through the book. I think it took me like 3 weeks to read it. But I also, yeah, I would say, yeah, because I started it. Yeah, it took me nearly a month to read it, because I started this book on the 5th of June, and I ended up finishing it on the 4th of July. Like, that's so bad. That's so bad. But I had a good time. I just don't think it kept me as hooked as maybe the end did. But I did rate it 3 stars. It was an interconnected standalone series. So I read the 5th book, and it was the 5th book in the series. So they are interconnected. But I did enjoy that. The next one we have is The Play by Elle Kennedy, which is the 3rd book in the Briar You series. I rate that 3.5 stars. I had the best time. I think I really enjoyed the love interests, and I enjoyed the characters. I just think for me, because I'm pretty sure this is Hunter's book, isn't it? Yeah, this was Hunter Davenport's book. And I just think, like, I just think I didn't like Demi that much. Like, I think she was, yeah, I just think I didn't like Demi that much. I think I just didn't really connect with Demi. And then, like, Hunter he was very different. He was a little bit different for me. And yeah, but I did enjoy, I had a good time. I just think, like, for me at the moment, I don't know whether I may be falling off the bandwagon with ice hockey romances, because I'm obviously, I don't, well, you wouldn't know, but I'm currently reading Face Off by Chelsea Curto, and I'm not loving the book as much as everyone else is, or when they're in that ice hockey romance. But then, like, if I know I read Balcahabra, I know I'm going to have the best time. So I don't know, but I did love, obviously, with Elle Kennedy, I did love her. I did love the off campus series. And I also did like her other little series, like she did like Girl Abroad, and I loved the, what was it called? Yeah, the Good Girl Complex, the Bad Reputation. Like, I had a good time reading that. And I actually, talking about that, read The Summer Girl, which is the third book in the Avalon Bay series. And I rated that 4 stars. I had the best time. I was kicking and squealing, and it was just a good romance book. I had the best time. I could just shut off. And it was just a cool book to just read in the pool and just chill. We then had My Dreadful Darling, which is by H.D. Colton. This is the first book in the Hollow Graves duet. And let's just say 4 stars, had a stunning time. These characters were amazing. These are dark. Do read the trigger warnings, as it is a lovely menu. And have the best time, because honestly, I literally had the best time. I rated this 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I just know with how she's gonna do, she's gonna just be amazing in the next book. I think the next book is due to come out soon, or it's already come out. One of the two. I think it's due to come out in August. So I'm very excited for that. We then have my book club pick, which is I Will Break You by Gigi Sticks. Guys, this was a 2 stars. I don't want to think about it. I need it erased from my brain. I honestly couldn't. I don't think I could, and I don't think I will ever read anything by Gigi Sticks. I had the worst time. I physically wanted to DNF at so many points in the book, and it was just unrealistic, and it was just no. And that's all I'm going to really say. Is I'm going to say it's just a no from me. And I love a good dark romance. So when I was sad that I didn't like this book, I was sad. And then we did read 2 last books, and what was The Divorce by Frida McFadden. And I rated this a 4.5 stars, guys. I had the best time, and I thought that this book was amazing. I don't think the last couple of Frida McFadden books I've really enjoyed. Like, other than Dear Debbie, that's the only one that in her newest release category that I've actually enjoyed. And now I've enjoyed The Divorce. So maybe was she off like a bandwagon and she fell off a little bit and now she's back on? Because if she is, I will read her books all the time. I literally think The Tenant, The Crash, and The Teacher were like my least favorite. Oh, maybe The Co-worker as well was probably like my least favorite. Like, The Boyfriend was good, and Dear Debbie is good, and now we've read The Divorce. I think they were just stunning. They were stunning, and yeah, I cannot wait to see what she brings out, because I think she's got a new one coming out in like October, November time. So I'm very excited to see what she comes out with. And then we have the 4th book in the Hunted Omegas series by April L. Moon, and this was Fated to the Wolf Billionaire. And I rated this a 3 star. They're just cute little, like, romance books with wolves in, and I just think they're so cute. And to be fair, it's nice to just switch my brain off. You don't have to pay much attention to it. I just have the best time, and I've really enjoyed kind of all of the characters, really. And yeah, I'm kind of just enjoying it. I'm having the best time, and yeah, I cannot wait to kind of finish that series. Obviously, I think it's a series that you can easily finish as well, so that is good. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble all about books, and let me know what you read in July. How many books did you read? What was your favorite book? Let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.